Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra. Take a fabulously comfortable seat, close your eyes, and we're taking a deep breath for the word hope. That's our theme today, hope. Deep inhale, huge exhale. And for a moment, I just want you to stop and think about what the word hope means to you. What comes to mind? It might be an image, it might be a taste, a smell, it might be something far-fetched, an idea perhaps. So think about that for a moment. What does hope mean to you? And then I want you to tap in, really go deep. Do you feel hopeful right now? And if not, that's okay. We're noticing that, we're acknowledging that. And then I want you to slowly start to deepen the breath. And I want you to notice if that makes you feel a little bit more hopeful. Just in changing the breath itself. All right, let's try one more thing. Stay with the breath, keep deepening it, and add a smile. Eyes closed. Breathing in hope. Let's exhale fear. Breathing in hope. Exhaling fear. Give me one more. And then just let the breath be. Sit for a moment. Quiet the body. Try to quiet the mind. And then let's inhale. Take the arms all the way up. Let the gaze lift with the hands. Doesn't necessarily mean your eyes are open. Bring the palms together, and on your exhale, release them to your heart, Nanjali Mudra, prayer pose. And noting that in yogic tradition, prayer pose has nothing to do with religion. And so I want you to think about the intention of the hands being brought together, the intention of adding hope to our practice today and carrying it off the mat, bringing the thumbs right to the center of the heart chakra. So we make that connection with what the heart wants. Close your eyes and set the most amazing, hopeful intention ever. And then release the hands. You can hear my dogs. They're hopeful someone's going to let them out to play with the other dogs that I can hear in the background. Hands are reaching out to your sides. Inhale, take that left arm up. Side bend to the right. And let's just kind of play here. So find a little bit of movement. You'll slowly deepen that stretch. So for you, do you feel like the word hope is the same thing as the word wish? Just think about that for a moment. They're close, right? So what I like about the word hope, well, actually, there's quite a few things I like about the word hope, but one of them is that it connects our past and present with the future. right? Because if we're hoping for something, it hasn't happened yet. So it's in the future. And we are somehow taking something from the present or past that isn't quite what we want it to be. And we are envisioning something different for it. And so we know the power of the mind, right? And manifestation. That's what I like about the word hope. Also, that if you don't have hope, just think about that for a second. That's quite depressing, isn't it? Now, don't mistake the word hope for optimism either. We'll cover that in a second, but I want you to come just a little deeper. Really reach through that top arm, wherever you're at. Spread the fingers wide. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly come back to center. Once you get there, close your eyes, let the chin drop. Bring the head back to center. Inhale that right arm up. Take that side bend to the left. Move around here. You know, envisioning your idea of hope brings a spark of happiness. And I like when the universe interrupts my theme. So I'm going to use the dogs upstairs as my analogy. Nobody got up to let them out. I can hear them pacing around, their nails clicking on the floor. But for that glimpse, that moment, they were both super excited, thinking that their present moment might change. And it will later, right? When this class is over and I go let them out. But for you as well, right? When we kind of picture what we're hoping for as though we have it, don't you actually feel uplifted? We're going to practice that. Don't worry. All right, deepen this out. Stretch through the top arm. Spread the fingers wide. Huge inhale. Exhale, float back to center, dropping the chin. Now on your next inhale, both arms are reaching for the sky and the head is going to lift with the arms. Bring the palms together and release them back to your heart. So let's pause here. Let's think of something we each are hoping for. I know we all have something. I think that is a common thread throughout humanity, that we all have a hope for something. So what is your current hope? Let's pull it into the mind. Okay, you got it? All right, release the hands, backs of the hands resting on the knees, Gaian mudra. So thumb and index finger together while the other three fingers are straight. However, you're not making a circle with the thumb and the index finger. You want to straighten out the thumb as much as you can. So do that on both hands. Backs of the hands are resting down. So Gaian mudra is a hand pose symbolizing wisdom. And so a little wisdom mingled with our intentions of hope cannot hurt, don't you think? All right, close your eyes. Now, I want you to start visualizing that you have what you were just hoping for, that it's already occurred. And I want you to notice how you feel about that and see it play out in your mind's eye. And then really own what you expect to feel when what you're hoping for actually happens. And so I want you to start to see how having a hope is kind of like planting a seed of intention, right? I'm sure we all know that poem, Hope is like the little bird with wings. Hope, I want you to picture whatever you're hoping for and give it wings and send it off into the universe. and set it free. And then when it happens, I want you to appreciate what we just realized we are going to feel within. Like I felt relief, I felt intense happiness. And so we can experience that just by kind of taking our own heads through our own guided meditation of what it is we want to occur in our future. And we have the power to change that, right? All right, come on down onto your backs. You know what, let's grab a block along the way, why not? If you don't have a block, don't worry about it, or you could grab anything else, a pillow or something. But if you don't have a block, it's not a big deal. So our knees are bent, our feet are hip distance apart. We are prepping for bridge, arms down, pull the shoulder blades, lower along the back, low back to the earth. Inhale, slowly lift the hips. Back of the neck is lengthening out against the mat. You're not looking to either side in this pose, right? Maybe I should say, I really hope you are not turning your head in this pose. I don't want you to pinch a nerve in the neck. All right, let's wiggle the shoulders under just a little bit. Get some good height here. Lift the hips a little higher. If this bothers your knees, lift the heels. Deepen the breath. And when you get to your next exhale, let's slowly release down. You'll feel the shoulders untucking as you make your way to the earth. Set the heels down if you lifted them up. If you have a block or something, let's go ahead and put it between the knees. Medium height between the knees. If you don't have anything, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. We're just going to hug in a little bit. If you're not using a prop, you can energetically feel the legs hugging in and hold that, right? Okay. So we're either actually squeezing on an object or we're energetically doing it. Let's lift back up. Deepen the breath. Next exhale, let's slowly release back down. Take whatever prop you have between your knees and let's move it to underneath the sacrum for a supported bridge. If you don't have anything to grab, there's no couch pillow nearby, it's okay. Just stay in bridge. And what might be easier then is to take the feet wide so the knees can hold each other up and you don't have to work here. So totally up to you. Get comfy. I don't know, I kind of feel like straightening my legs out, so you might as well. All right, so while you're there, here's an interesting yogic practice thing for you to think about. Is there a yoga pose that you wish you could do? The answer could be no. I mean, maybe you don't have any desire to achieve a pose that you know is beyond your present realm, but have you ever been in a pose and you wish you could have done it, you wish you could have held it, you wish it could have looked different, you hope to achieve it someday? I'm going to give you a minute. Rifle through the poses in your mind and see if you come up with something. Okay. So for those of you who said no, you just lay there and zone out. For those of you who said yes, or you came up with a pose that you wish you could do better, I now want you to answer the following question, which is, why? And this is not a rhetorical question. Truly answer the question as to, why do you wish you could do that pose? So I'm coming up with some possible answers in my head that you could be thinking of. Perhaps one is, well, if I could do that pose, then my body, it would mean my body's in a healthy state. So, in other words, maybe there's something a physical limitation going on with your body that holds you back from being able to do a certain pose? But is it the pose that's going to bring health to the body? I mean, there's a different avenue, right? We're going to have to achieve health first. And so I'm wondering then, is the pose the ultimate hope or wish? Or is it perhaps just to be the healthiest you can be? I think another reason, to come up with a pose you wish you could do better would be perhaps ego. Like, that would be great. That would look really cool. Can see myself on the beach taking a picture in this pose, right? And we try to release ego on the yoga mat as much as possible. I mean, the only pose that I can personally think of that I would like to be able to do, but then there's a caveat here, would be handstand without the wall, but I don't work on handstand without the wall. So again, the hope in getting there, it's kind of, what am I trying to say? It's not fruitless, but I haven't put in the work. And so it's just kind of one of those like obscure wishes. Yeah, that would be really cool, but do I really care enough to do it? No, I don't. So I really want you to break it down, and be comfortable with your practice being exactly what it is right now. We don't need the poses we can't do. I mean, there's a reason we can't do them, right? We either recognize we don't want to put in the work, they're not that important, physically we can't do them, and that's okay. That's great to recognize and know and understand. All right. If you have the legs straight, let's go ahead and rebend them. Slide whatever prop you have out from underneath you. Resettle the hips on the earth and hug the knees in, Apanasana. Rock it out. All right, open the arms out wide if you have room. So I'm going to take my left arm straight out. I'm going to take my right arm into scarecrow. However you have the arms, just make sure the shoulder blades and the shoulders stay on the earth. And then let's gently drop the knees down to the left. Turn the head to look over that right shoulder and hold it right there. So I want to share a quote with you. I guess one of the reasons I was thinking about hope is because we're heading into November. We've had really peculiar world situations going on since March. And it looks like we're heading into kind of another rise and round of things. And so I feel it's very important for us to keep our hope. And so Maxine Hong Kingston wrote, in a time of destruction, create something. In a time of destruction, create something. So if that means, let's just say we're completely locked down in our homes again, do something, start something new. There's always a seed of hope to plant, a seed of a goal, an idea, an intention, right? And I don't know, I felt like that quote was important right now. Just create something. It could be something for yourself. It doesn't have to be tangible, right? It could be something positive for your mind. It could be self-care routine, nurturing, anything. Just create something. I think that's a great quote to remind us not to get sucked down into dire places. All right, go ahead and return to your back and drop the knees to the other side. Your head's going to look out over that left shoulder. So maybe just thinking here while we're holding this pose, thinking about what you could create. What do you have the time to create now that there isn't so much to do? How about that for a positive thought? And then come on back to center. Let's go ahead and briefly hug the knees in. And then I'm going to take my arms between my knees so I can grab onto my feet or ankles and take the legs into a supine cobbler. So soles of the feet together, knees are pushing away from you. Keep the knees pushing away. You might be able to pull the feet in just a little bit closer. Deepen the breath. And then slowly, you can let go of the feet, let them find the earth and walk their way out. Arms overhead, big reach. And then just release. Close your eyes wherever you land. And then go ahead and roll over to whichever side you want. You stay right there in a fetal position. Deep inhale. Exhale, gently push your way back up. We're going to take the legs out, Upavista Konasana, so into a V, flexing the feet when you're ready. Maybe have props pulled over nearby. You never know. You can hope we're going to use the props, right? And now envision how happy that would make you. All right, feet are flexed, toes are spread wide. Pull the pinky toes back towards you. Can you feel that a little bit? Sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale the arms, take the gaze up with the hands. Bring the palms together, release them to the heart, to Anjali Mudra. And then bringing the hands to the earth, let's walk our way forward into a fold. And here's where you can kind of relax the feet a little bit if you want. You can pull over any props that you would like. And, just take your time easing into your fold, add some movement. So I mentioned that hope and optimism seem to be perhaps on the same tree, but definitely not on the same branch. To me, optimism is a heightened sense of everything's going to go well, everything is fine, right? But to say that optimism and hope are the same thing would be to say that a pessimist cannot have hope. I'm going to leave you with that for a moment, let that sink in. While you're in your fold, if you have your forearms down on the ground like I do, dig the elbows into the earth and pull the elbows back towards you so it pushes your spine forward a little bit. If you have your hands on the earth, go ahead and grip the floor and pull back with the arms so it's doing the same thing. It's hinging the hips to bend a little bit more and lengthening out your spine. Deepen the breath. Breathing in hope. Exhaling everything else. Now, if you are down on the forearms, what I like about Gyan Mudra is that you can pretty much incorporate it into most poses. So if you're on the forearms, flip them over, palms up. Take the thumbs and index fingers together again, straighten out the thumbs. The rest of the fingers are straight. If you're using your hands for support, you still could flip your hands over and into Gyan Mudra if you want to, but if that's really uncomfortable, don't worry about it right now. We'll pick it up in a different pose. And then when you do have your hands in this pose, just kind of envisioning the open palms as being receptive to knowledge and wisdom. One more big inhale. Cleansing exhale. Peacefully make your way back up. Bring those legs in together. You might have to pull them in manually. They might not work automatically anymore. Stretch them out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Fingertips are on the earth, reaching as far forward as they're willing to go while you stay at 90 degrees. Lengthen through the spine. Close your eyes. And then I want you to picture where 45 degrees would be, right? We're not going to 45, half of that. So just hinge forward to what you think would be about half of that 45 degrees and hold it right here. You're smiling. Hope is all around you. The air is tinged with its vibration. Lengthen through the spine. Option A, you're going to stay right here. Option B, find that 45-degree mark. You can always bend the knees, right? Lengthen. And then just slide the hands back towards you so you can come back up. That wasn't so bad, right? All right, come on over into table. Finding cat-cow. If you want to hold one of those poses, you should do so. Last one. When you're ready, neutral spine, tuck the toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Walk it out. Couple more breaths right here. And then knees back to the earth. So that right leg, you can either bring it forward into pigeon or take the right knee, slide it up directly behind the right wrist, keeping the foot behind the knee, and then straighten out the left leg. So you can do either sitting on the right heel or bringing that foot across into pigeon. Use whatever props you want to. I'm thinking the bolster is looking pretty comfy right now, and I'm gonna just tuck it right underneath my left hip and come on down, which makes this pose not feel like any work at all, which is great. So set up however you want to be. Close your eyes. Let me share with you something else. So Desmond Tutu wrote, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness." And that's why I feel like hope is one of those threads that connects all human life. I mean, I can't imagine not having a thread, a glimpse, a little piece of hope. Even, when you're feeling your lowest, there has to be something that keeps you going, that allows you to know that something better is coming. It has to. Hang on to that idea. It has to. If you're at your lowest, it has to go up. And that is a thread of hope. I think the other interesting thing about hope is how it connects with the breath. In other words, we're breathing all the time. We are not conscious of it most of the time. We might not even be conscious of our breath until we're on our yoga mat. I don't think we're really conscious of hope until something dire has happened, or something that we didn't expect that's less than happy has happened. We just don't really think about it, right? When you're super happy, is hope one of those things that pops into your head? Probably not. And so just an interesting connection with the breath, I think. And, when we are in a stressful or anxious or just maybe a bad place, the breath and focusing on it can be so inspiring and helpful and energizing. And so I think in that way, it also links us with that word hope. I would ask you what you think, but I can't hear you. I'm going to pretend I'm hearing your answers. All right, give me a deep inhale. Super loud exhale. All right, let's get our hands underneath us, whichever pose you're in. Push your way up. Move your prop aside if you're using one. If you're in pigeon, will you swing the right foot back underneath the right hip? Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to tuck my back toes so that I can lift my hips up a little. I want to get my hips over that right knee and get the left leg out to the side in gate pose. So you'll have to walk the hands forward just a little bit. So in gate pose, the foot is flat and the toes are facing the same direction as the crown of your head. All right, lengthen out the spine. Let's take that left arm and just slowly reach it up to the sky. Huge breath here. This feels hopeful, right? The heart opening in this pose. Couple deep breaths. If you have room, I think I'll hit the wall, but you could take that arm a little further behind you if you want to. And then we'll release that arm slowly. Take your time. This might feel a little more awkward. Take the right hand and see if you can send that arm up. The shoulder might not want to go as far. That's okay. Breathe. And then as you release that right arm, can we send it underneath the left and thread the needle? And as always, if your shoulder and head don't come down to the earth, will you grab something that allows you to rest both so you're not hanging in midair? And then you can do whatever you want to with that left arm. You can keep it on the earth, send it overhead, bring it around behind your back. Let's take that right hand into Gyan Mudra. Remember, the thumb's going to be straight, but it's connected to the index finger. The other three fingers are also straight. Palm is open. Can't you just feel the wisdom pouring in? If you have your arm behind you, you might kind of incrementally with each breath try to open that top shoulder a little bit more, just kind of turning the heart upwards. But no pain in yoga. Do not push it. The shoulders do not have to use this pose to be what makes them open up, right? We can stay closed off a little bit if that's more comfortable. Just looking for you to find what's right for you right now. All right, big breath in. As you exhale, release Gyan Mudra. Left hand to the earth. Slowly push your way back up. Take it to table. I'm going to back up on my mat here. Let's come back to cat-cow for a breath or two. Coming back to a neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, walk it out. employ the breath to your benefit. And then on your next exhale, release the knees back to the earth. So that left knee is going to come forward behind the left wrist. You're either going into pigeon or you're just going to keep the foot straight behind you and settle in. I kind of liked having that bolster underneath my right hip. And then just get comfortable. Close your eyes. Afizofi wrote this poem. It is dark, no moon, no light, just darkness, a starless sky. The wind blows, the waves break. A single firefly passes by. Soon the firefly is gone, leaving me in the darkest of nights. The tiny fly made me anticipate a sunrise with the finest of lights. So with your eyes closed, I want you to see that sunrise with the finest of lights. So whatever colors you want it to be, even if they logically would not appear in the sky, I don't care. Make this the coolest thing you've ever seen in your head. You can add glitter, sparkles, whatever you want. And let that beautiful picture you're seeing in your mind just be filled with hope. All right, big inhale. Loud exhale. We're slowly gonna come up onto the hands. If you're using your bolster or something else, push it aside. And then tuck the back toes, lift that leg so we can move the hips forward. We're trying to get the hips right over the left knee. Right leg's coming straight out to your side in gate pose. Foot's flat, toes are facing the direction of the crown chakra. And then when you're ready, let's take that right hand and just slide it right up through the air, reaching for the sky, opening the heart, breathing in hope. Opening that arm up a little more if you want to. Taking that arm behind you, shoulder pulling back, heart moving up. You could even take that right hand right now into Gyan Mudra, right? See, it's very easy to incorporate into most poses. My gosh, we're going to be filled with so much wisdom by the time we get to Shavasana. What are we going to do with it all? Big inhale. Exhale, float that arm back down to the earth. When you're ready, inhale the left arm up. Again, you can take that hand into Gyan Mudra right here. And as that arm comes back down, slide it underneath the right arm, thread the needle, grab a prop if you need it. Let's keep that left hand in Gyan Mudra. You do whatever you want to with that right arm. And when you're comfortable, close your eyes. And instead of seeing that beautiful sunrise that you were picturing, I want you to go back to the darkness the poem talked about, pitch black darkness. And what I like about the image that's portrayed in that poem is the firefly is not within your control, right? Imagine that firefly coming into your mind's eye right now. And so hope does not have to come in expected ways, and it doesn't have to be powered by our energy, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be something we've done. I believe that the universe will always give you a little sign when you need it, even if it's in the smallest body of a firefly, right? And so within the words of that poem, what I'm feeling and envisioning is that, gosh, you can be at your darkest point, but something's going to come along. And knowing that that something is eventually going to come along is a definition of hope. Don't you love it when things go full circle? Oh my gosh, I do. All right, if you want to open up that top shoulder a little bit more, you can, if that arm's behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Let's release Gaya Mudra. Bring that right hand back down to the earth. Slowly push our way back up. Pull that leg into table. Inhale, cow when you're ready. Exhale, cat. Hold it right there. And then neutral spine. We're going to take that right foot, bring it forward inside of that right hand. And then I'm going to take the left leg and back it up. We're just looking for our low lunge here. So wherever that is for you, make sure the front knee is over the ankle and not in front of it. So you might need props, like your blocks, to come up a little higher for that to occur. That's okay. Or you could even, you don't have props, bring your hands up onto that front thigh. So wherever you want to be. We're lifting the heart though, right? You're smiling, right? So hopeful. All right, option A, stay where you are. Option B, let's take this into Anjaneyasana, which means we're going to bring the arms up. And as we soften the hips a little bit, there's just a little reaching up and back. You know, Anjaneyasana is a hopeful pose, right? It's about Hanuman, the monkey deity, reaching up for the sun, which he thinks is this melon he wants to eat, and it's hopeful. He's hoping that he can leap far enough to grab it. Nice. Bring the hands to the heart. Release them to the earth. Pull the hips back to straighten out this front leg, if it will straighten. We'll keep that foot flat on the earth for a moment. Pull the right hip back. And then if there's any room for you to come down a little lower, find it. If there isn't, don't worry about it. And then just for a little flavor, you don't have to do this. In fact, you might want to stay right here and see where I'm headed first, if this is going to be okay with your left knee. Walking the hands back, I'm going to slide my right foot back and sit down on my left heel, keeping my right knee bent. So we could do quite a few things here. If you want to, you could just bring the hands to Namaste at the heart. Or what I was kind of thinking was bringing that right arm inside of the bent knee. Maybe it'll wrap around you and you can find a little bind here. And what might be interesting is to take that right hand still into Gaya Mudra and just hang on to the extended fingers. If you're thinking there is no hope and no way in heck those arms are going to reach each other, don't worry about it. So find a way that works for you that you can get one of the hands into Gyan Mudra, wherever that hand ends up. It doesn't matter, right? So this will be your little flare on the mat. Create something that works for you. Give me a deep breath. As you exhale, release the arms wherever they were. Let's slowly come back up into table and round it right into cat. Hold it there. Nice. After we do the other side, you know there's a restorative pose coming, right? Left foot is coming forward. We're going to find that low lunge. Again, I want you to take care to make sure the left knee is over the ankle, so whatever you need to do to get it there, right? We can hang out right here. Deep breathing, heart's moving forward. And then our pose full of hope by Hanuman, Anjayanasana. So when you're ready, you'll take the arms up, reach back just a little bit. Deepen the breath, heart's expanding with hope. You can see that beautiful sunrise you pictured way up on the ceiling. Bring the palms together, release them to the heart, and then to the earth. We're going to slowly pull the hips back. Keep that left foot flat on the ground if you can. Don't worry about the legs straightening all the way. Try to pull the left hip back. That'll change everything. And then if you still have room, you can come on down into a fold. So remember, you can stay right here if the other option did not make you hopeful or happy. We're gonna walk our hands back if you want to do this pose. Slide the left foot in, sit back onto the right heel. You can hang out right here. This could be Gyan Mudra right here. Or drop the left shoulder inside of that left knee. Get creative with the arms. Or maybe you can get that left arm to come around to the left hip. And then the right hand can reach back and grab the fingers while the left hand is in Gyan Mudra, right? And then if you do get here, you can try to lengthen, open up that top shoulder, look behind you, smile. Definitely a restorative pose next. Although we are still seated, so doesn't that kind of count? I know, I hear you all yelling, no, it doesn't count. Okay, deep inhale. Exhale, release the arms wherever they're at, and then free that left leg. Let's go ahead and set up, oh, my mat's really sliding into the wall here. Let's set up a supported child's pose, so grab whatever you would like. Make this however makes you happy. Oh yeah, one of the dogs took my blanket. Okay, so I'm not using a blanket today. And then just close your eyes. If you do have a blanket, it would be a nice gentle weight on the low back. Or if you have some yoga sandbags, that would be good too. So I was going to bypass the next quote that I'm about to read you until I saw who wrote it. And to me, that made all the difference. So let me give you the quote. It's really a wonder that I haven't dropped all of my ideals because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet I keep them because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I was going to bypass that quote because I don't know, that idea is a struggle right now. It's like there's so much hatred that has bubbled up. But you know, the author of that quote was Anne Frank. And if she could hold on to hope, then I think all of us can, right? And having you in Balasana right now, child's pose, I kind of feel like that's a very hopeful pose too. It feels like you're protecting the heart in this pose and all of its hopes and dreams. And so I want you to go back to feeling what it would feel like to have your hopes come true. Let's go ahead and turn the head in the other direction. When you're ready, we're going to slowly push our way out. I'm going to move my props out of my way. Let's come back to sitting on the earth for a moment. So I think I'm going to give you another option here. Either cow face with the legs, Gomukhasana, which is going to be the left leg on the bottom, knee facing forward, right leg on top, trying to line up the knees and then the feet go wide. Or your other favorite, still right leg on top, double pigeon, where the ankles line up with the knees. And you might need something underneath the right knee to fill the gap, if there is one. You pick which one you want to do. All right, when you're ready, let's inhale that right arm up and then bend at the elbow, dropping the hand behind you, and then take the left hand around and see if the hands find each other or grab onto your shirt or use a strap. So this is cow face with the arms. Like I said, you could be in double pigeon with the legs, or you could also be in cow face with the legs, up to you. So it's quite probable you don't like this pose. It's quite probable that there's a part of it you don't like. Maybe you just hate the legs, but you don't mind the arms, or vice versa. Can you be inspired that Shavasana is not far away, and that's the hope that floats in right now? Deep inhale. Exhale, release the arms. Roll the shoulders a few times. And then let's switch up the legs. So again, you choose if it's Gomukhasana or if it's double pigeon. I think this side wants to do double pigeon. When you're ready, left arm up, elbow's gonna bend, hand drops behind you, right arm behind you. Be happy wherever it ends up. Close your eyes. Shavasana dreams are glimmering in your mind's eye. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the arms, roll it out. You might pause here to just, let's drop the head to one side. You hold as long as you want and then switch to the other. You can free the legs too. That would make you happier. Just kind of going back and forth. And then the head to center. Inhale the arms, gaze lifts. Bring the palms together. As they come down, interlace the fingers, chin to the collarbone. Hands will go behind the head. Elbows will come in towards each other. Get a good stretch in the back of the neck. So you can hold it right there if that feels awesome, or create a vinyasa. Inhale, elbows pull back, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, round it back down. When you finish the one you're on, release the arms. Slowly bring the head back to center. And let's set up Shavasana and take a little journey in our mind. All right, when you get comfortable, and I mean completely comfortable, do a body scan. Listen to every part of the body, then close your eyes. So I want you to imagine that you are sitting in a theater and you're the only one there. So pick whichever seat you want. And the curtains are closed and the lights go out and you are encased in darkness. In fact, it's so dark, you can't even see your hand in front of your face. It's pitch black. And I just want you to sit with that for a moment. And it might help, like I have a light kind of directly overhead, and so I can see that light coming in through my eyelids. If you have like a sweatshirt or a blanket, it might help, or an eye pillow to just cover your eyes. You could use your hands too if you want to, so that you can really see the darkness. And let's say that there's nothing scary about the darkness. Perhaps it might not be what you would choose, but you accept it for what it is at the present moment. And then, you don't see this, you hear this. You hear the curtains starting to open and pull back. It's still pitch black, but you know something is about to happen. And let's say that our main actor is our firefly friend, and let him come into your field of vision. Let him do whatever he wants to up on that stage. Perhaps he's kind of flitting around. Maybe it's a kind of a firefly dance, whatever you think it should be. You might even see the trail of his little light streaming behind him as he moves because it's so dark. And perhaps that one little firefly seems inspirational. You're mesmerized by the light's movement. Just with that one little light, you feel different than you did sitting in the darkness. Why don't we add in one of his friends? Maybe a couple more. You decide. Just sitting back comfortably, watching their movement, their vinyasa on the stage, their light, feeling hopeful. And notice we didn't do anything ourselves to make that change. Something entered our world, something entered our field of vision, something unexpected, perhaps beautiful, perhaps just different. And then the firefly's friends slowly exit off to the sides. We're just left with our main actor. And he also begins to slow down his movement until he too turns off his light and vanishes from your sight. And just as you think you're going to be sitting in darkness again, that beautiful sunset that you envisioned earlier, sunrise, comes across the stage in brilliant colors and sparkles and glimmers, and those lights come out towards you, and you can see them on your body, on your legs, on your arms, and your hands, and it's all beautiful, it's all hopeful, it's amazing. And you get to decide what happens next. I'll see you on the other side of Shavasana. Keeping your eyes closed, and assuming your arms are extended. If the palms are down, turn the palms up, and let's take both hands back into guided mudra. Thumb to index finger, thumb straight. Last three fingers are straight. We're breathing in hope. If you're still watching the colors and whatever else is appearing on your stage, I want you to allow the activity to die down and for the curtains to close, leaving you in darkness again, but with the happiness of what you just saw. And with the understanding that, the curtain is going to open back up. We don't know what's behind it, but something else is coming. Deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Releasing the mudra, bring movement back into the hands and the fingers, into the toes and the feet. And you can either stay right here, if this is what makes you happiest, or roll onto a side in a fetal position. And then keeping your eyes closed as you very slowly and peacefully make your way back up to a seated position. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Take both arms up. Keep the eyes closed, but lift the gaze to the hands. Bring the palms together. And as you release them to your heart in Anjali Mudra, let the gaze follow. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.